Thank you. I'd like to welcome everybody to today, the November 13th meeting of the Board of the Steamship Authority. I have a recording announcement to read that I'm sure everyone has heard before, but if not, I'd like to inform everyone that Sean Driscoll, the authority's communications director, is making an audio and a video recording of today's meeting. If anyone else is making an audio or video recording of today's meeting, please identify yourself by pressing the raise your hand icon on the Zoom dashboard, or if you're joining by telephone, by pressing *9 on your keypad. And when you're recognized, please state your name for the record. Thank you.
And we have a number here. Louisa?
Yours truly, Louisa Hofstadter, the Vineyard Gazette.
Thank you. Jason?
Good morning, everyone. Jason Grazia Day, Nantucket Current.
Hey,
Thank
Jason.
you. Kai?
Good morning, everybody. Kai Quigley, the Inquirer and Mayor.
Thank you. Lenlin?
Linlin Hutchinson, the Enterprise.
Thank you. And Unki?
Unki Sonu, MB Times.
Thank you. And that's everybody.
Okay, thank you. Terrence, I don't think I have to read the remote participation since the board is all here. Is that correct?
No, you do, Jim, because they all are remote. Yes. You have to read it because they are remote. Yes.
Okay, I will read the statement. Pursuant to Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, as amended, all members are participating remotely in today's meeting because their physical attendance today would be unreasonable. You're right, we all are, duh. Would be unreasonably difficult. All members participating in the meeting via Zoom while the conferencing app. All members will be clearly audible to each other. And as a result of our remote participation, the meeting on any and all votes will be taken today shall be by roll call vote. Thank you. Now, with that, we'll open the meeting. I'd like to say a couple of words. I'd like to thank the working group that put months of meetings, lots of thought, lots of conversation, and deliberation into selecting candidates for this process. I'd also like to thank the board for their support of the working group throughout the process. And I'd also particularly like to thank the staff of the Steamship Authority. Transition in any organization is difficult and is unsettling. And I think that through this entire process, our staff has stayed focused on running the Steamship Authority, providing a service to and from the islands, and throughout this whole thing has behaved very, very professionally. I'd like to thank the staff as well and acknowledge them. We have two candidates before us. They are both qualified. They have both been extensively vetted and interviewed. They've presented to the board as well. And at this point, I'd entertain a discussion by members of the board and or a motion when appropriate in terms of the selection for the next general manager. And I also, again, want to thank both candidates for coming forward for their honest, sincere, and clearly well thought through responses, not only to the board, but throughout the entire process. So with that, it's open to the board. Comments, considerations, motions, discussion?
Well, nobody wants to go first, so I'll jump in. Adding on to what Jim said, when we first started out with this thing, the search, that we had to go out and find a headhunter and a team of those, and that took quite a while, and we landed on Fast Stream with Jonathan and Matthew, and anyways, they basically were charged to go over a list, create a list, and then reduce the list down to a workable number for the board of about 6 candidates. And those numbers were in the hundreds that they reached out to and responded and whatever. And they took that list and developed the 6, and they rated each candidate themselves, and they developed a rubrics on each candidate and handed those over to us. When we got that list, I can remember going over the list initially, and it had, on top of what I can say surprised me a little bit is when Mark Amundsen was on the list, and I'm saying to myself, well, I didn't know that he was even interested in this. So he went through the entire process that everybody else did. And he had to talk to the headhunters, and they rated him and, gave their recommendations. When we came down, we preened it down to about 3 members. And Mark and Alex and one other all came to the top. And one of them was dropped out, mainly after doing due diligence, and basically said that, that he wasn't interested in getting into, all of the stuff that's going on in the community, which was sad because he had had years and years of experience. So we are now down to Mark and Alex. And I never knew how much experience Mark really had. He worked for us for 6 years, and we know he was down south doing the boats, and he was in charge of the maintenance and engineering and all that. And he has a wealth of experience, more than I ever knew. And from his graduation at the Maine Maritime Academy, he went into the industry and ended up in Taiwan or Singapore or someplace in another foreign country. All the time through his career handling, big ships, big problems and things like that. And at first, one of I think mine and the rest of the board wanted to be sure that we had candidates that were in the marine industry. We had some crossovers that might have been a good candidate, but the marine industry was tops. And we looked at Alex, and Alex certainly had a variety of different positions, COO of Prop US and various other positions, all of them qualifying him. But it was my original thought and hope that Mark would continue as the COO, because I think he's highly qualified. And I think he's done a great job. And also maybe a new face for the general manager. And I was going along those lines, but I've looked at it several times. I revisited the resumes. I've looked at the videos again, and had conversation with my partner in crime here in the Port Council. And it became obvious to me that our best bet and our best move would to stay in-house and give a nod to Mark. He has a lot of ideas of moving the authority forward. He wears the colors well. He said in no uncertain term to the public that they're completely wrong about their impression of the Steamship Authority. He said it's a well-run and it's growing and improving on a daily basis. And I like that esprit de corps. And with Alex, he was one of the first resumes that I wrote, and I've said this each time that he impressed me. I stopped and read it again because he had things that just triggered my thought process. So as much as I think either candidate would do a good job, I think Mark has the experience. He's proved in his interviews to be very, positive, convincing, knowledgeable. And I think he really displayed things that I never knew before. So that's where I'm going to be coming from. So I'll leave it up to you.
Okay, as chair, I can't make a motion. I can't offer comment, but I'd like to listen to anyone else before I do.
I move that we take a vote. I have a time constraint. I think, we've discussed this sufficiently. We had the interviews. I'm prepared to vote. I don't know if anyone else feels that they need to speak. I squeezed this meeting in, and I definitely have a time constraint.
Okay.
So I move that we vote.
Okay. Thank you, Maura. Got it. Mr. Jeffrey, Mr. Rainey, do you have a comment? We've heard from Mr. Jones.
I'm ready to make a motion, but I'll defer to Mr. Rainey first. He has something to say.
No, I just wanted to thank the search committee. I think this was a very difficult and time-consuming and long process. Their dedication was fantastic throughout. This is not an easy decision, but I think for me it comes down to what is ultimately best for the authority as a whole and how we go forward and bring the authority into the 21st century. We're a little behind with that. And I think there are some things that need to be done. I don't really have much more to say about that other than I'm ready to go forward here as well.
Is that a second?
Well, I didn't hear a motion.
I didn't hear a motion, but
I moved. I'm so sorry, Mr. Malcolm. I moved that we take a vote now on the two candidates.
Okay, well, I'd like to give Mr. Jeffrey an opportunity to speak. Thank you.
I guess, are we just polling as to our choices, or are we making a motion to hire a specific candidate? Because I was willing to, I guess my question is procedural.
The procedure is it's up to the board. We could take a motion to hire a candidate, or we could take a motion to have a vote. It depends who wants to make a motion. I cannot do either of those.
I guess I'm trying to understand. I know Maura was ready to vote. I guess, are we voting on one specific candidate, or are we just each stating our preferred candidate? And I would just say that I would thank the board, not only the selection committee, but the board for allowing us this week to go back and talk to our communities. I know that Rob also asked for that. It was very helpful for me. And that it's clear from people in my community and talk to them that this is a great opportunity for culture change and for some of the reasons Bob has talked about, Mark being a strong candidate, I think for me, Alex is the candidate to go to, so we don't deplete our bench, and that this board demonstrates that we're moving forward with change. So I guess the question is, I would be willing to make a motion that we offer the position to Alex Kryska as general manager, would be my motion, if we're ready to take a vote.
That's a motion. That's a motion. Go
I'll
ahead.
second that.
Okay, we have a motion that's been made and seconded. I would suggest that we modify the motion, if that is the motion, subject to successful negotiations with the candidate.
Agreed.
Yes, yeah. My offer would, if you want the official motion, I would say that the board offer the position of general manager of the Steamship Authority to Alex Kryska, and direct the general counsel, human resources director, and a designated member of the board to begin preliminary contract negotiations with Mr. Kryska for final approval by the board.
Okay.
And I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. The only comment I'd make is I agree with the comments that were made by our fellow board members. It is difficult. I was heartened to hear from Mr. Amundsen that he was happy to stay on with us. He brings experience, and I think with Mr. Rosem, with Mr. Amundsen, and with Mr. Kryska, we would have a strong, solid team with in-depth knowledge as well as general experience to bring to the Steamship Authority going forward. So I'm very much in support of the motion that's on the floor. Comes to a vote at this point, and it comes to a roll call vote at this point. And I think it's Jeffries is first.
Jeffrey, aye.
Thank you. Mr. Jones?
Jones, no.
Okay. Malkin, aye.
Randy, aye.
Tierney, aye.
Thank you. We have the vote, and what I would like is for the incoming chair, Mr. Jeffrey, to work with the council and with Janice Kenefick and Jonathan Pierce from FastStream as appropriate to work on the offer and the contract to bring a proposed employment agreement to the board for approval. And following that, which would be an executive session, to go into negotiations, conclude negotiations, and then go into open session to make our decision known to the public. Mr. Jones.
I always believe in something like this. I think it's really important that the board be unanimous on a decision of this nature. Even though I voted against this, I would turn my vote in favor for the unanimity of the board and moving forward. I think that's very important. And I'm sorry it didn't go the way I wanted it to, but that's all right. I'm willing to change my vote so that they were all unanimous.
Thank you, Bob. And I very much appreciate your doing that. I do think it's important as well that the board shows its confidence in its selection, and that as a unified board, we move forward with the Steamship Authority. There being no further business on our agenda, I take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. Motion made and seconded. It's a roll call vote.
Jeffrey, aye.
Jones, aye.
Malkin, aye.
Randy, aye.
Tierney, aye.
Thank you, everyone. This meeting is adjourned. And thank the authority and its staff throughout this entire process. And I look forward to moving forward in the best interests of all our communities concerned. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.